Welcome to Animal DNA, our extraordinary expedition through the animal kingdom. We'll explore the unique traits and characteristics of animals of all kinds, how species relate to one another, and ways in which they survive and thrive in their diverse environments around the planet. And so our journey begins. Today, you might want to keep a safe distance as we're heading into the water to investigate aquatic monsters. From squids as big as a car, to fearsome conger eels that live in underwater caverns, to many other slithering, slimy creatures of the sea. The fascinating animals we'll learn about today truly exist, unlike the legendary Loch Ness Monster or mythological Hydra. Giant squids and eels can be found roaming the depths of our present-day oceans. They might seem like something out of a terrifying science fiction story, but they are very real. Let's dive in with the giant squid. And the name suits them well, as these animals can grow to truly monstrous proportions. The largest giant squid ever recorded by scientists was almost 43 feet long and may have weighed nearly a ton. Giant squid are thought to swim throughout the oceans worldwide. They can usually be found off the coast of New Zealand and Pacific Islands. Though they also make frequent appearances on the east and west sides of the northern Atlantic and the South Atlantic along the southern coast of Africa. It's believed that these creatures live about 5 years and, in that time, reproduce only once. Studies show that these squids feed on smaller fish, crustaceans, and other squid. Although they have 8 tentacles, they only use 2 of them to capture their prey. Their scientific name, Architeuthis, means arch squid. And they are the reigning kings of the cephalopods, which include animals like squid, octopus, cuttlefish, and others. Cephalopods have bilateral body symmetry, large prominent heads and arms, or tentacles. Moving on from the cephalopods, let's take a look at some fish with an interesting characteristic, the absence of scales. Throughout evolution, animals have developed numerous protective features to defend themselves and survive in their environments. Fish scales serve many purposes, but the most important is they protect them from injury and predators. However, not all fish have developed these protective scales. Instead, they have other characteristics that allow them to survive in water, such as more highly developed sensory organs, or thick body layers that offer them protection. These fish are classified into groups to better identify them. Anguilliformes are composed of fish such as eels, conger eels, and moray eels. Yes, eels are fish. Chimeriformes include the rabbitfish or parrotfish. Myxiniformes are comprised of cocoon eels and hagfish, such as lampreys. Petromyzoniformes, which includes the striped lamprey or the sea lamprey. Creatures in this category are considered agnathafish because they do not have jaws. Siluriformes include the American catfish, which is characterized by its 4 pairs of whiskers, called barbels, located on its jaws. While this represents a lot of species, the number of fish without scales is much smaller than that of fish with scales. The fish that make up this smaller group can be distinguished from each other by their different morphology, habitat, and way of life. The sea lamprey is the best known fish without scales or fins. Its scientific name is Petromyzon marinus. This interesting animal, which has a similar body to an eel, can live more than 15 years and reach up to 3.2 feet long. They are considered agnathafish because they lack jaws and are characterized by a sucker-shaped mouth framed by a large row of pointy teeth. They can be found in the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea, but move to rivers to reproduce. Adult sea lampreys are considered hematophagous, meaning they feed on blood. They attach themselves to the skin of their prey, which creates a wound from which they can suck the prey's blood. Pacific hagfish are another species of agnathan fish, distinct from lampreys. This fish with an elongated body and no fins has no sucker in the mouth area, but has highly developed sensory organs, such as smell and touch. They have a tongue with small teeth-like protrusions, tiny barbs which act as sensory organs, and are usually colored pink, purple, or brown. They live on the seabed, feeding on the carrion, animals which are already dead, in the environment. Rabbitfish are another popular scaleless fish. They are characterized by their long and highly flexible tails, large eyes, a fold covering their gill slits, an upper jaw fused with the cranial area, very wide and smooth tooth plates, and only 2 gill slits. They live mainly in the deep waters of the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. Their diet consists mostly of plant matter, such as some algae, and other small animals, such as mollusks, fish, and crustaceans. As we mentioned, eels also lack scales, and eels are fish. Conger eels belong to the order Anguilliformes. These animals, which can reach more than an impressive 6.5 feet long, have a similar body to that of a snake, with very thick and shiny skin. They are characterized by their large mouth, large eyes, and a grayish coloration. Conger eels inhabit the seabed and usually feed at night on other animals, such as crustaceans, mollusks, and other fish. Their heightened sensory organs enable them to detect nearby sounds and movements, which helps them both hunt and avoid their own predators. They also possess a remarkable regenerative capability, allowing their wounds to heal quickly. The Mediterranean moray has an elongated and laterally flattened body, which can reach around 5 feet long, a large mouth with sharp teeth, and irregular coloration spots all over the body. They dwell in underwater rocky areas and crevices. These predators feed on other fish, cephalopods, and crustaceans. American catfish are characterized by their solid and stocky, though somewhat laterally compressed, bodies, in addition to their dark coloring with black spots. They possess a large mouth with 4 barbels or whiskers on both jaws. Their look is reminiscent of a cat's whiskers, hence the name. They have 2 fins on their back and a series of spines which are used as a defense mechanism. They prefer freshwater habitats, such as rivers or lakes. Their nocturnal diet is based on small animals, such as other fish, mollusks, and crustaceans. American black catfish are known for their sizable mucus layer that covers their body and is usually quite dark in color. They share similar characteristics to other catfish species, such as the 8 barbels around the mouth. They inhabit numerous rivers, such as the Ebro in Spain, where they feed mainly on other small fish. We'll be right back with more animal DNA. We're back with more animal DNA. Let's see if you can answer this trivia question. Which of these creatures actually exist? A. Sea wasp. B. Sea rhinoceros. C. Sea monkey. D. Sea ostrich. This is a bit of a trick question because there are 2 right answers. Both sea wasps and sea monkeys are real creatures. Sea snakes, also known as coral reef snakes, have some of the most potent venom in the animal world. They may have evolved from their terrestrial ancestors, and they bear a similar physical resemblance, but these reptiles are fully adapted to aquatic environments. They have laterally compressed organs, so they look like eels, and they also have an oar-shaped tail, which helps them swim. Sea snakes live in the Indian and Pacific Oceans and feed on fish, mollusks, and crustaceans. They're not aggressive and only attack if they're provoked or feel threatened. The stonefish and the pufferfish are 2 more highly venomous fish in the marine world. They belong to the ray-finned fish species known as actinopterygians, as they have spiny bodily extensions. Their venom is distributed through these barbs on their fins. It contains neurotoxins and cytotoxins, which are more lethal than snake venom. Stonefish and pufferfish are made to blend in with their environment, especially rocky areas. This camouflage helps them hunt and avoid predators. Like the sea snake, they live in the Indian and Pacific Oceans and feed on small fish and crustaceans. Another astonishing creature is the blue-ringed octopus, which measures no more than 8 inches, but possesses one of the deadliest venoms in the world. These mini octopuses are bright yellowish orange and are characterized by the blue and black rings on their skin that glow brightly when they're threatened. They live in the Pacific Ocean and feed on small crabs and crayfish. Sea creatures capable of deploying deadly toxins are certainly scary, but how about the creatures that are merely scary looking? The red-lipped batfish from the Galapagos Islands in the Pacific Ocean looks like something that crawled out of a monster movie. It can be found on the sea floor between 10 and 250 feet deep. It's not a good swimmer. In fact, its fins serve more as paws, with which these fish can walk along the bottom of the ocean. Blobfish live in Australia, Tasmania, and New Zealand. These curious fish inhabit deep waters between 2,000 and 4,000 feet below sea level, where pressure is immense and light is extremely scarce. As the name suggests, they look like literal blob creatures and are considered by many to be the ugliest animal in the world. Their swollen, jelly-like appearance is due to the decompression damage that occurs when the creature is brought to the surface. The Dumbo octopus lives in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. In addition to its curious appearance, which looks strikingly like a baby elephant, this octopus attracts attention for the fact that it lives at extreme depths, up to 13,000 feet below sea level. We'll be right back with more animal DNA. We're back with more animal DNA. Let's see if you can answer this trivia question. Which of the following creatures exists and looks like a real-life sea monster? A. Wolf lobster. B. Mantis shrimp. C. Cobra crab. D. Needle barnacles. If you answered B, mantis shrimp, you're right. Let's continue on and learn more about the eel, another sea monster that looks like an extraterrestrial creature out of a science fiction movie. Eels belong to the order of Anguilliformes fishes. Undoubtedly, their snake-like shape is one of the reasons why they are so feared. Some of them are also known for their ability to generate solid electrical currents. These electric eels can reach up to an astounding 11 feet long. Eels are one of the oldest animals on the planet. They are easy to identify by their snake-like shape, and they live in rivers and seas. Their skin is smooth and covered in mucus, which helps them glide through the water and protects them from parasites and disease. They have microscopic scales and fins that are fused into a single ribbon-like fin that runs along most of the length of the body. The predominant color of eels living on the ocean floor are gray and black to help them blend in with their surroundings. They have sharp teeth and feed on shrimp, fish, mussels, slugs, and worms, hunting at night. Like other fish, they breathe through their gills. However, some species absorb oxygen through their skin and can therefore hide in freshwater mud. Freshwater eels, also known as river eels, can only spawn in the sea at depths of up to 1,600 feet and temperatures of 59 degrees Fahrenheit. To reach their breeding waters, they migrate as much as 2,500 miles to reproduce. Shortly after they make the journey and lay their eggs, they die. The unsupervised eggs move with the sea current to reach the river again. The salinity of the water in their spawning environment determines the outcome of their sex. Less salty water leads to a greater number of female offspring. On the other hand, the more salt, the more likely offspring will be male. The most common eel species, European eels, are among the most famous. Their habitat is the northern Atlantic Ocean and European seas. They reproduce after winter in the Sargasso Sea, where they remain for 10 months before traveling to the European coasts. American eels are found mainly on the east coast of North America. Their reproduction occurs in the ocean, and the ocean current carries the larvae to freshwater rivers. This is where they mature into eels. Electric eels are widespread in South America and prefer the fresh water of swampy areas. They are capable of emitting shocks up to 850 volts, which are used for hunting and protection. Let's slither away from eels and take a closer look at the pink handfish, which takes its name from the hand-shaped fins it uses to crawl along the seafloor. This unique creature has only been seen in the wild 5 times and has recently been listed as endangered. The fish was first reported as a discovery in 1999 when a diver encountered the fish during underwater explorations in Hobart's capital. Because it's such a rare species, scientists took years to classify it and identify it as a new species. These fish measure up to 4 inches in body length and 5 inches, including fins. Its body is pink with reddish or other pinkish spots. The fins are of similar coloration. The eyes are bluish-black. This fish is a poor hunter due to the fact that it is very slow. It primarily feeds on tiny organisms found on the seafloor, as well as marine worms and crustaceans. It is currently an endemic species found only in the deep waters of southeastern Australia. Between the coasts of East Africa and Oceania lives the dugong. These are marine mammals related to the manatee of the order Sirenia. They are shallow water animals, usually found at no more than about 30 feet deep. They are large and heavy and can measure up to 13 feet long and weigh 880 pounds. Their long snout stands out and is useful for feeding on seagrasses. The Japanese spider crab lives near the islands of Japan. This giant crab has the largest known leg span of any arthropod species or invertebrate animal with a resistant external skeleton. When stretched out, these crabs can reach an incredible sea monster-esque length of 13 feet. Can you imagine running into one of these while out for a swim? The anglerfish lives the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean worldwide. Their name derives from the long filament protruding from the middle of their heads, which they use to lure prey like a fishing pole. A member of the Lophiformes order, these fish can distend their stomachs and jaws so that they can consume prey twice as large as their entire body. Anglerfish can range anywhere from 8 inches to over 3 feet long and weigh up to 100 pounds. Well, it's about that time. But before we go, here are a few more incredible, fun facts about the amazing and curious sea creatures we've explored today. Jellyfish have been around for more than 650 million years, which means they are older than dinosaurs. An electric eel can produce enough electricity to light up 10 light bulbs. An octopus has 3 hearts, and the color of its blood is blue. And finally, a shrimp's heart is in its head. Strange, indeed, but true. And with that, our journey has come to an end. See you next time on Animal DNA, where we humans decode all the secrets of our friends in the animal kingdom to learn more about them and a little bit more about ourselves, too.